Welcome to Section 3, Configuring your CentOS 7 system. We'll begin this section by teaching you how to set local and language settings. Then we will be synchronizing the system clock using the Cronny suite. Afterwards, we are setting your computer's host name and DNS server. We build a static network connection and show you how you can use the sudo command. Afterwards, we are customizing the message of the day and SSH banners. And finally, we will show you how you can work with Linux kernel modules. Speaking the right language. In this video, we will show you how you can change local settings on a CentOS 7 system. The need to change this is rare, but can be important, for example, if we accidentally chose the wrong language during installation. But what are local information? If you read the Wikipedia local article, you will learn that it is a set of parameters that defines the user's language, region and other special variant preferences that the user wants to see in their user interface. On an OS level, it defines things such as currency symbols, paper formats in your region, or error messages, which will be or important system information such as error messages. Here follows the demonstration. In this video, we will configure our CentOS 7 systems language and current location settings, which is also called locale information. As said before in the introductory part of this video, there are two ways to set locale information in a Linux system, that is, system-wide locale and user-specific locale settings. The locale control command is used to adjust system-wide locale information, which we will begin with. Type in locale control status to get information about the current system-wide locale settings. As you see in the output of the command, there are three different main locale settings we can customize with the locale control command. The current locale settings for the console, the current locale settings for the keyboard or keyboard layout, and the current locale setting for the graphical user interface, or short X11. In our example, this is all set to the US and UTF-8 language and layout. If you have selected another language or keyboard layout during installation, your output may vary. Before we can change the console local, we first need to get a list of all available local items. Type local control list -locals to get a full list opened in Lesser navigation. In this example, we are interested in German local settings, so let's search by the keyword de_ for Deutschland, which is the native word for Germany. It's always a good idea to use UTF-8 locals for proper and compatible encodings, so let's pick the standard de_de.utf8 local. Next, let's also change the keyboard layout. Type local control list -key maps to get a full list of all available items. Again, search for DE in the output and select the QWERTY key map, as this is a very common German keyboard layout. Now, let's set our chosen console and keyboard local from the last step. Use local controls set local option with the lang environment variable assignment, which will completely change every single console local settings available globally, as we later will see. For the keyboard, use the set -key map option to set the desired keyboard layout. As we are setting system-wide information, only root can run the local control setting options. Let's recheck if our last two commands have been successfully using the status option again. For the sake of completeness, if you have a graphical window manager installed and need to change X11 settings, use the list -X11 -keymap -layouts and the set -X11 -keymap options accordingly, but which we don't need for this video training, because this is a Linux command line only course. Next, let's set user-based local information. In order we can demonstrate you change your root user to a normal system user, for example the one you set up during installation of your CentOS 7 system. It's good to know that if you don't set user-based local information, the global or system-wide settings will be used instead. Type in local to the command line to display all available local environment variables. Here in this example we don't have set any local information ourselves, so the standard system-wide and global de_de UTF-8 locale we just set in the previous step will be used. Each of those local environment variables defines a specific local setting. For example, LC time sets time-based local information, or LC paper defines language-specific printer paper formats. Just change the environment variable's value to change a setting. Each environment variable you change overrides the global counterpart. If you don't explicitly override a local environment variable, the global one will be used instead. If you want to change all local settings at once to the same specific value, use the lang environment variable. If you remember, we also used the lang environment variable with the local control command to set all locals to the same value globally. Let's test changing user-based local information by producing an error on the command line and seeing if the language of the error output changes when the local is changed. If you use the US local, the error message of the ls output will be in the English language. If you use the French local, output will be in French, Chinese in Chinese, and so on. One thing to remember is that setting environment variables is only valid in the current shell or subshell, but don't survive logging out of the shell, as this is the default behavior of any environment variable. If you log back into the system, the custom English local will be gone and we are using the German local setting instead again, because it is set system-wide. If you want to set a user-specific local information persistently, put the environment variable assignment in the .bashrc file, which will be read and applied each time you log into a shell. If you now log out and back into the shell, your custom English local is still set and survived logging out of the system.